For a closer look at the escalating conflict, I'm joined this morning by Tara Kangariou. She is the global affairs journalist and author of The Heartbeat of Iran, and she's joining us from London this morning. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Tara, over the weekend, we've seen the Iranian community here in Canada celebrating. The regime in Iran says that they want to change how people in Iran, how are people in Iran responding?
Indeed, and I've been in touch with many people inside the country, despite, by the way, extremely weak internet and the disconnect of phones. It's been very difficult to get through, but people that I've been speaking with from different walks of life, not just in Tehran, but across the country, are looking at this as a momentous time in their modern history. And all of this comes, as you mentioned, with the killing of Iran's supreme leader. We have to put things in perspective. This is a man who has been ruling Iran with an iron fist over the past 30 plus years, and he is regarded by many millions of Iranians in the country as a dictator, as a force of repression that has perpetually choked any form of dissent and isolated the Iranian public. Now, again, as you and your viewers know, Iran is a country of 90 million. It's not a monolithic society. And sources on the ground are telling me that at the moment, the population that supports the regime, whether that be ideologic or because of power and finances, is something around 18%. And the rest are a people and nation that want to move beyond the regime. So there have been images and videos coming in from Iran, people dancing on the streets, singing, but right now, as we speak, the country is being hit left, right, and center. I'm getting lines from Tehran that, again, various neighborhoods and areas are being targeted and hit. So for a population that is living probably in its worst financial state, coming out of a mourning stage, given the protests and its crackdown that we saw in January, this is a precarious time, and people are on the edge and standing on their toes as to what's next.
Well, and let's talk about what's next. Iran's deputy foreign affairs minister over the weekend said this about leadership in the country.
Well, if their goal is change the regime, that is a mission impossible. The demise of the leader doesn't mean that, regime change.
So then, Tara, who are they considering? What direction might that person take the regime in?
Indeed. And I will add a line from President Trump, who has been, by the way, speaking with reporters in the U.S. Just last night. He said that we have hit thousands of targets, with 9 of the country's ships being destroyed and the entire military and IRGC command and control center being hit. So precisely, with that said, at this moment, any one member of the IRGC and the regime can be targeted, and these targets are ongoing. And I think that's what we need to look at carefully. As you mentioned, this transitional group that's made up of the country's president, who, by the way, was presumed hit during the strikes on Saturday. He's alive, as well as the country's judiciary and another high-ranking cleric. So this transitional group has been formed, and they will shepherd the way forward while the supreme leader would be decided at some point by a group of clergy. Now, again, everything can happen because the strikes against Iran and IRGC assets are continuing. I think the world right now is waiting and on standby to see what Donald Trump does next. The last thing I would add, though, is that the IRGC apparatus, Anne-Marie, is extremely complex. It has multiple layers. And to an extent, it's extremely powerful because it holds the country's entire infrastructure militarily, oil and gas, and has a grip over the entirety of Iran. And they've been prepared for this day for many years.
President Trump adding yesterday that people in Iran are celebrating this possibility of regime change. Iran is saying there will be a new leader, but no real change. These two groups were in talks. They were supposed to be meeting today. That obviously is no longer happening. And President Trump said they're going to continue until all goals are achieved. What is the end game here?
Indeed, and I think that's the question on everyone's mind. People in Iran are wondering if there's going to be regime change. What does that look like? Who is that leader going to be? Is it going to be a leader from within? And if so, what are the new policies going to be? Is it going to be an opposition figure from outside? What is the plan? And there's a lot of unknown. And as we go through this unknown phase, there's a lot at stake. The entire region is really ablaze and everyone is involved. But right now, so many people in Iran are looking at this in some ways as a glimmer of hope, because speaking with folks in the country, they're telling me that if this regime stays as is, in this way and shape and form, they are going to be even more brutal and repressive toward the public. This is a pattern that we've seen before. I want to just quickly throw in another name, Larijani, Ali Larijani. He's an extremely influential figure. He is not a cleric. He has held multiple posts in the country, and he's the head of the National Security Council in Iran. He has sort of been a figure in the past few days who've been making statements and is seen by some folks in Iran as someone that can potentially lead the country. And he earlier today, this morning, said, we are not going to talk to the United States and we're going to push full force in our retaliation. So a lot at stake, but specifically and perhaps most importantly, the faith of 90 million Iranians inside the country who remain on their toes, and everyone else in the region who are affected.
Tara Kangariou, global affairs journalist and author of The Heartbeat of Iran. Great to have your perspective this morning and your updates. Appreciate it.